So when I do these videos, I intentionally do not read the articles in advance. I want to react live. So I am coming back here after reading this entire article, and I'm going to tell you right now, this entire episode with the FBI, including details of the investigation on Crooks, is all in response to an episode of Joe Rogan recently where Rogan talked specifically about the FBI going back and forth between Crooks' house and the FBI building well before the shooting, about the detonators that clearly he had helped to get, about the body being cremated, so on, so forth, etc., and their explanations for where they're at in this investigation and what they do and don't know about Thomas Matthew Crooks are laughable. In my opinion, laughable. It is impossible that they have analyzed what they're saying and coming up with the conclusions that they are claiming that they have. And it is, do not make any mistake about it. This is in response to Rogan. Bet your life on that. And now let's watch. So when the FBI says that they have new information about the Trump shooter, I will tell you exactly how I look at these stories. I'm like, all right, do I believe this or do I not believe it? And if they are saying something I don't believe, then what would the purpose of that be? You know what I mean? Because right now we've got FBI shares new details in investigation of Donald Trump shooter Thomas Matthew Crooks. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I look at this, no, I don't believe it. I don't believe this. I don't believe what they're saying, and I'll tell you why. But also over here, if you guys have not seen this one, you know, this is from like a week ago. I'm sure you guys saw it. Trump shooter Thomas Crooks had encrypted messaging accounts in Belgium, Germany, and New Zealand. Okay, so this one, maybe, you know, maybe. But let me tell you why I think that this one might be a lie, right? You know, this thing about the multiple encrypted messaging accounts, okay? You guys remember this story that happened, I don't know, 2-3 days ago about the Telegram guy getting arrested in France? You know, France, one of the number one controlled by the elites in, you know, the World Economic Forum elites. Like they got Macron in, it's like, here's France, here's the World Economic Forum, all the globalists, right? So he gets arrested there. Okay. So why would they be going after this guy? It's like, geez, I don't know. Is there any way that, you know, anything that they really are trying to discourage? Like, yeah, communications they can't monitor. Right. And so Telegram, which that's basically their entire platform, is, you know, honestly, you want to know what I thought to myself? Telegram? I'm like, man, that sounds like a good one to use. You know, because there are these other ones that it's like, yeah, this one's definitely encrypted and you definitely, you know, that no one can monitor it. I'm like, all right, now I really believe they can't monitor that one because I'm sure that's why they went after him. But, you know, so like when I hear about Thomas Matthew Crooks using this, that, or the other, it sounds to me like they're setting up to go after those messaging apps. You know, who knows? I am a broken automatron. I don't believe anything. I literally believe nothing. I assume the worst every single time now. There's like nothing that these people could tell me that I would believe. Or nothing they could say where I wouldn't just assume that they are doing something nefarious. It's not good. Okay? It's not good. So, you know, Jesse, how can you say you love America and then simultaneously say you don't believe a single thing your government says? Is the government America? Has the government demonstrated that I should not trust them? Yes, they have. Okay, so, but let's say that he did have the international messaging apps. Okay, well, you think that makes it better? You know what I mean? It's like, all right, so he really was trying to whack out the president. I mean, well, we know he's trying to whack out the president, but it makes it more likely that he had people handling him. Is that fair to assume? So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Okay, so that's a bunch of preamble. Now let's look at what happened today, okay? So the FBI shares new details in the investigation of Donald Trump's shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, okay? So the FBI revealed new details from the investigation into the assassination attempt and with a call with the media, including that the shooter engaged in detailed attack planning well in advance of the rally. Oh, okay, well, that lines up. But more than 6 weeks after the attack, investigators still haven't uncovered a motive. Huh. Jeez, no motive? Wow, well, gosh, he took a shot at Trump. Hey, you think his motive might have been to whack out Donald Trump? You know, you think it might have been politically motivated? You think the fact that he registered as a Democrat, or I'm sorry, as a Republican when he was very clearly on every single messaging app that we could read his stuff on, clearly not that? You know what I mean? The FBI has done extensive analysis of Crooks' online search history and activity, so they would know that also. According to Kevin Rojic, a special agent in charge of the FBI's Pittsburgh field office, who also spoke on the call, that has provided valuable insight into his mindset, but not a definitive motive. Okay. Investigators found a search from Crooks' account in late September of 2023 of Trump's campaign schedule and upcoming Pennsylvania appearances, according to Rojic. But Trump doesn't appear to have been the only target. Here we go. So I assume this is going to make it out that, listen, this is just one crazy kid. This guy's just crazy. All right, so yeah, again, Trump doesn't appear to have been the only potential target. Sure, dude. Rojic said that between April and July of 2024, Crooks searched campaign events for both Trump and Biden. Yeah, right, dude. Sure. Hey, so he couldn't make up his mind. He's all, I just know I'm going to shoot a candidate. Might not be Trump, might be Biden. It might be Trump, but it might be Biden. Could be Trump, could be Biden. I don't know, man. It's lucky he did it when he did, because otherwise he might have shot Kamala. You know what I mean? Because, obviously this had nothing to do with a larger plan to get Kamala in, Rojic said, this is just ridiculous, dude. Including events that were scheduled to happen in Western Pennsylvania. The Bureau uncovered searches on July 5th I just saw that the Telegram CEO got indicted for something or other. Bureau uncovered searches on July 5th for when is the DNC convention and when is the RNC convention, apparent references to the DNC and RNC. Okay, obviously that's a reference to that. Crooks' search history suggests he may have been considering a violent attack for several years. Oh, he had been searching detonating cord, blasting cap, how to make a bomb shooter searches since 2019. I don't believe you. I don't believe this report. I don't believe it. Rojic said as early as September 2019 and continuing into the summer of 2024, Crooks conducted multiple searches about explosive devices, including detonation cord. Oh, really? Really? Blasting cap. How to make a bomb from fertilizer. How do remote detonators work? Crooks also searched for ammonium nitrate, nitromethane, and other materials consistent with manufacturing explosive devices. Law enforcement found 2 explosive devices in his Crooks' car. Let me just pose a little something to you guys, okay? So Joe Rogan, very recently on his show, was explaining to that guy who was like the I don't believe in conspiracy guy. He was explaining to that guy that he had complicated detonators, and he was basically laying out all of the information that makes it seem like high probability that this guy had help, probably from the government or from someone way high up who wanted Trump dead. And he talked about detonators, right? Rogan said that to 10 billion people who watch his show. And now, oh my gosh, 3 days later, the FBI just wants to let the American people know there's an update in the case. All right, there's an update in the case. And we've got multiple things we got to tell you about. A, this guy's been searching about how to make explosives since 2019. Anyone can figure out how to make a bomb in 5 years. So I guess that nullifies the thing Joe Rogan said. Right, guys? I guess that should nullify the thing Joe Rogan said. Did Joe Rogan also say that there was someone from the FBI building that was going between, Crooks' house and the FBI building over and over? I didn't hear that part. You didn't? Because he did. I'm not sure if I heard that. Okay, but you are definitely addressing the thing about someone giving him detonators, and you're saying that it wasn't someone getting him detonators. He's been trying to figure out how to blow bombs for 5 years. That is correct. That is the official story, and we're sticking to it. Okay. And you're also saying that most likely he wasn't even sure if it was going to be Trump. He's like, maybe I'll shoot Biden. That is certainly what we are implying. So you're saying he might have shot Biden. He just wanted to attack any political person. That's the way it appears to us. So Rogan accuses you guys of potentially being involved, and 5 seconds later, you come out with a report that says, "Oh, listen, this guy's so crazy that he might have even shot Biden. He just wanted to shoot a politician." Yeah, that's right. Give me a break, dude. FBI Director Christopher Wray testified a couple weeks after the shooting that the devices had receivers to enable remote detonation, and law enforcement found a transmitter on the roof with Crooks. However, he also said investigators didn't believe detonation would have worked because the receivers were switched off. Okay. What? Here we go. Rojic said Wednesday that components Crooks used to make those devices were legal to buy and readily available online. So listen, what's Rogan talking about? What's he talking about? He said someone gave him those devices. He said that he gave him the detonators. Did you guys hear that? Joe Rogan actually said that. We're just doing this random update to the media to let you know that the detonators that he had were actually readily available and available online. So, there definitely was no connection between the FBI and any of this, okay? Well, are you going to address the cell phone data of the person who was coming from your building and going to Crooks' house, or the fact that his house was professionally scrubbed and there was no silverware in his house? I'm not familiar with that. Yes, you are, So we've got no definitive ideology associated with our subject, either far left-leaning or far right-leaning. God, the guy's just an enigma. You can't tie down anything about the guy. He's a mystery. Jeez. Federal investigators have been working to learn who 20-year-old Thomas Michael Crooks and why he tried to kill Trump ever since the Republican presidential nominee took a bullet to the ear at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th. Oh, because this is the first person that you can't in this amount of time figure out anything about them. Nothing. Crooks also killed rally attendee and father of two, Corey Comperto. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his last name. I am very sorry about that. Robert Wells, executive director of the FBI's National Security Branch, said on a call that the FBI not only hasn't identified a motive, but also hasn't uncovered any co-conspirators or associates of Crook who had advanced knowledge of the attack. And I want to be clear, we have not seen any indicators that would suggest that Crooks was directed by a foreign entity to conduct the attack. Wow. You guys are doing a really great job to throw everyone off the scent. Like I hear Rogan say that, and then you guys come out 2 seconds later and come out with all this. I'm like, wow, Rogan's crazy. Not at all. Rojic said investigators aren't even clear on whether Crooks had partisan political views. We've seen no definitive ideology associated with our subjects, either left or right reading. It's really been a mixture and something that we're still attempting to analyze and draw conclusions on. Yeah, fucking right. Who do you think we are? Rojic also addressed testimony that Paul Abay, FBI deputy director, gave before Congress when he said he had found the first real indication of extremist views and politically violent communications through social media account, and they were working to verify belonged to Crooks. Abate mentioned that more than 700 comments between 2019 and 2020, including anti-Semitic, 700 comments, and you can't figure out which side of the fence he's on? The FBI's current assessment is that those statements were associated with accounts associated with the subject, and we continue to work to determine if they were, in fact, attributed to the subject himself. Give me a break. This is a joke. This is a joke. Anyone who believes that this is really what this is where the FBI's at, really? Okay. I had not read this article when I started. I hadn't read it. So this is all genuine as I'm going through it. You really think anyone's going to believe this? The FBI's current said those statements were associated with the accounts associated with the subject, and we continue to work to determine if they were, in fact, attributed to the subject himself. You can't figure that out. You guys have Project whatever in the Department of Homeland Security, and they try to shoot the president. You're not going to get to enact all those, all those measures that you guys have that you can spy on people. You're telling me you really think that we believe this, that you don't know if it's his accounts or not? On July 4th, just 9 days before the attack, Crooks searched for details on the Butler campaign event, which took place within easy driving distance from his home. 2 days later, Crooks showed an interest in a previous political assassination, searching for how far Lee Harvey Oswald was from the John F. Kennedy when Oswald shot him. Yeah, we heard that a million years ago. Roja described that search, which has been previously reported on Wednesday. He also clarified that Crooks looked into specific details about the setup for the campaign rally. Crooks entered online searches July 6th for "Where will Trump speak from at the Butler Farm show?" my God, this is so ridiculous. Crooks also searched for ballistic calculator on July 9th and looked up whether family, extremely cooperative, have received Crooks's body. I thought, what? I thought they cremated it. Law enforcement released Crooks' body to them after they did the autopsy, FBI, yada, yada. Decision to release the remains. I thought they cremated him. I want to stress that it is not standard procedure or practice for the FBI or any law enforcement to request that the coroner or medical examiner maintain indefinite custody of a deceased subject's body. This is 100% in response to what Rogan said, straight up. Because Rogan said about cremating the body. Subject's body, the investigative purposes of our agency and our partner agencies are completed. Autopsy and toxicology reports indicated Crooks wasn't on drugs or alcohol when he died, and that he was killed by a single gunshot wound to the head. Rojic said Crooks was pronounced dead at 6:25 p.m. This is 100% a direct response to what Rogan said on his show, for sure, because they are addressing every single thing that he said. Rojic said Crooks had overseas encrypted email accounts, but the level of encryption wasn't more sophisticated than any standard widely used email service that's internet-based. So why on earth were they even bringing that up? He said the FBI has successfully assessed or accessed those accounts and analyzed their content, although it is continuing to identify and exploit Crooks' accounts more broadly. Okay, but you said he had 13 accounts, and you're telling me you still can't figure out what his political leanings are? There's so much inconsistency in this, and it's unbelievable. So you tell me, guys, a person who cares enough about politics to take a shot at the former president and has 13 different messaging apps, which they're saying they have fully accessed, and they've analyzed 700 comments. You're telling me that when they say, we can't really identify which side of the fence this guy is on politically. Yeah, right. That's impossible. That's just not possible. You couldn't look at 700 comments from a single American on planet Earth and not figure out which side of the fence that they're on. Especially one where I've looked at some of their comments validated by these guys, and it's very clear that he is on the left. Very clear. At least in the ones that I've seen, and that was like 8 comments, not 700. And if you've really accessed all 13 of his encrypted media or encrypted messaging accounts and you can't figure out what's that, this is just nonsense. Oh, my God. As FBI and Secret Service officials said, law enforcement identified Crooks as suspicious well before the attack and shared a photograph of him nearly an hour before he opened fire. But the cops did not have the ability to contact Secret Service directly, and it sounds like Secret Service actually didn't even shoot Crooks, so, there's that. Crooks used an AR-15 5.56 rifle in the attack. The weapon was and is operational, Rojic said. He confirmed the FBI successfully test-fired it and also matched the casings found on the roof to the rifle during a standard interview with Trump. In-depth briefing on the investigation. Since the assassination, Kimberly Cheadle resigned under intense pressure. Members of Congress, the investigators have conducted nearly 1,000 interviews in total, in addition to issuing dozens of subpoenas and analyzing hundreds of hours of video footage. And somehow, we still can't figure out whether he's a Democrat or Republican. Laughable. I don't believe them. Just straight up, I don't believe him, dude. That's what I got.